Welcome back. Continuing our conversation with our departing Chief of Police, Anthony Batts. Chief, does Long Beach have enough cops?
Well, that depends on how you want to define that. My job is not to go to my bosses and say, I need whatever resources. My job is to say, if you give me this amount of resources, this is what I can do with that. And that's what I've always done. I presented to the City Council, actually, when I first made chief, I was asked, do you need more police officers? My first year, and I said, well, give me a year and let me make it as efficient as I can at this time, see how that works, and we'll go from there. At the conclusion of that year, I gave 4 models. If you remember, I gave the number of, if you want to keep crime the way that is, you need 37 more police officers. If you want to make some more increases, you need 127. If you really want to get on top of it, we need 202. And if you want this to make this nirvana, we need 317, I believe is what I said. So I gave them 4 models on what they wanted to provide me as resources. And I think what you've seen is crime has reduced in the city every year that our team has been together, with the exception of 1. And during that 1 year, crime only went up less than a percentage. So basically, I would say technically you've had 6 straight years of crime reduction. And so we're doing well. So when you ask me the question, do you need more police officers? How does that deal with your budget? Because that will cost the overall general fund. Can we reduce crime further with more police officers? Absolutely, but it depends on the cost that you want to put out there to drop the crime.
You've made the point on this show and in many other fora that fighting crime is a community responsibility, not just the responsibility of the police department. As you know, I was very active in raising money for the PAL program when that existed. We start each show with a 1-minute tribute to police and fire on this show. And I'm on the board of directors of the Long Beach Police Foundation, which seeks to engender community support. Speak to the issue of community involvement in helping the police do their job.
Well, it's critical, and even more critical now. You've been a very staunch supporter of the Police Athletic League for many years, and have raised a lot of money for our young kids out there that have made a difference for at-risk youth, and I'd like to thank you and thank your show for that. But those are the things that we need. And the same thing now, what the Police Foundation is a nonprofit arm of the police organization that raises money from the community to allow police officers to go to different schools that they may not have the ability to go to, or to get equipment, high technology equipment, to make us more efficient at our jobs. So that's how the community has gotten involved. And there again, you have stepped up to the plate, and I thank you for that. Now, because of budgetary concerns, we don't have the Police Athletic League anymore. We don't have our DARE program anymore. And we're making some budget cuts this fiscal year that may further impact the focus on our kids, which means that you only have so much in the general fund that you have to balance your budget with. And with those areas that we don't, perhaps we need to reach even further into the community and have this community step up, because these are our children, our kids. Now, I say that from community interaction, and I think that's a plus. However, I've stood in front of the council recently and shared with them, I think you cannot just focus on suppression, because there's 3 arms to dealing with crime in cities. It's suppression, it's prevention, which is like the Police Athletic League, and it's intervention too at the same time. We're basically, because of budgetary cuts, we've cut back to almost no prevention or intervention, and we're heavily focused on suppression. When you do that, what's going to result in, at some point in time, is that you're going to deal with things in the 1990s riots, or you're going to deal with things along the lines of the Watts riots in the 60s, because police departments will only be looked upon as an occupying army. And you have to get into a position where police officers are seen part of the community, which then interlocks the community with the police department, much like the things you have done for many years. It's critical.
That being said, let me invite all of our viewers to consider going to the farewell dinner to the chief that is going to benefit the Long Beach Police Foundation, raise money for the foundation. Put it on your calendars, Friday, October 16th. We'll put it up at the end of the segment at the Aquarium of the Pacific. A farewell to the chief for a good cause. We're going to have to hire your replacement, and big shoes to fill. Should Long Beach look inside or outside of Long Beach for the new chief?
Well, that's an interesting question, because you look at me going to another city in Northern California, and I'm coming from the outside. I was having a meeting or lunch with Bill Bratton, Chief of Police of LAPD, last week, and we sat around and we were talking for about 2 hours on things. And Bill had said to me, he says, Tony, you know, why didn't you apply for LAPD? It would have been perfect for you. It would have been a great job for you. And I said, why would I want to follow you, Bill? After you've done such a great job with Los Angeles, I needed to identify another path. I think the city of Northern California, Oakland, is bringing someone in from the outside because they want change. They don't like what has happened so far, so they want a change agent that come in a short amount of time, turn things around. If you want to make changes like that, then you bring people from the outside. If you have competent people interior to the organization is doing well and going the way that you want, I think you tend to stay inside. I have a very, very competent staff. The vast majority of the successes that we have is endeared to them. They came up with the creative, innovative ideas. They implement them, they operate them, they do extremely well. I have a very deep bench. I have middle managers who are some of the brightest, intelligent people that I know. My executive branch, my commanders and my deputy chiefs are also very well qualified to do the job. I think it would be a tragedy if you went outside to another agency, because what you're saying to these very bright people who have reduced your crime for the last 7 years, have reduced the budget, reduced overtime, and stayed efficient as possibly can be, that you're not good enough to be a chief in this city. And they are truly the ones that have, for us, won the Super Bowl every year. So,
well stated. And so clearly it's a morale booster to hire the new chief from within the existing ranks.
if you ask
And
me,
it's a hats off to the job that you guys are doing.
if you ask me, clearly it's a no-brainer. You have people here that can get the job done. They've been walking with me as we've taken these steps.
Yeah.
You got qualified people.
Okay, we'll be continuing with this great interview after we pause for these messages.